expensive in time. Hello, everybody. We are back with another installment of the Real 50 Over 50. And today we have somebody who I just adore, Lee Aldridge, who is the, hold on a second, we have Facebook kicking out again. If you were trying to visit on Facebook, come on over to LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Oh, StreamYard. Okay, so let's get back to Lee. She is a seasoned brand strategist, storyteller, communications expert, and along with her team, they don't just offer words, they bring transformative power to your messaging. With her soul story creative, strategy first approach to marketing, Lee and her team guide growth companies to gain momentum in their next chapter and generate real results. Beginning with a clear, cohesive, and consistent brand story, Lee's proven soul story process creates content more efficiently while maintaining a brand consistency and resonance, allowing conscious brands to be nimble in responding to market changes and become known strategically as they stand out, grow, and make a bigger impact in the world. Welcome, Lee. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you.
So, is there anything I missed? Anything you want to add in before we dive into a conversation
Oh
about?
gosh, I'm sure the rest of it'll just come out as we
Yeah, it will. It
all
will.
those formal bios, right?
Yeah, I try to keep those short and to the point because I like to get right to the conversation because that's where the good stuff happens. And these are totally unscripted, unplanned, and just about, talking about life and work and business and, you know, how it changes. So let's just jump right in with what happened when you turned 50.
Oh wow, isn't that a great age? I'll tell you everything they say about it.
I
Um,
know.
no, but it's true. I really think at 48 we start going through this rites of passage or something.
Mm,
We start really evaluating. It's a certain point in time, and so that whole midlife crisis thing. It's not really a crisis. It's a reflection and an introspection. And I had a reality check, over the course of several years. It took about 3 years for me to really understand how stifled I felt
mhm,
and how stifling my life had become in this 27-year marriage. And we had just grown apart in our values so much. So when that ended, it really done it just opened up a whole new world to me. And I was like, honestly, I was like a kid, is that the midlife crisis thing? But I tried things. I was able to move out west, and I've learned how to ski. and and that freaked me out. Every time I got to the bottom of a run, I was like, still alive, let's go
No
do it
broken
again.
hip.
But it's so weird at that age that I stretched. My growth edge became much larger, meaning there were so many new things to experience,
Mm,
post mother, post wife, post hearth tender. And even though I
mhm.
had been running wedding and portrait photography business for over 30 years, this was completely different. It was a
Yeah,
blank canvas.
yeah, yeah. The risk starts to feel like an opportunity, right?
It does. And so much transformation. I think that's the key, is by the time we get this age, so much transformation in our own authentic expression has occurred. And I just love that now I get to bring that into my business, into marketing, right?
Yeah,
Transformational. It seems like an oxymoron, but it's exactly what's being called for.
it is. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Let's talk a little bit about, combining the brand strategy, the authentic messaging, and conscious marketing and what that looks like. I mean, in your life and your business. And I know, like, I kind of work the same way. And, the lines blur.
They do, they really do. I mean, brand strategy is life strategy.
Yes,
Are you
yes.
gonna get up at 8? Are you gonna get up at 6? Are you gonna accomplish, it's all, to me, I am a strategist. I
Yeah.
wanna know what the whole deal is, and then let me assess, and I'll put
Mhm.
it back together in a way that is beautiful and serves the project.
Yes.
So, in talking about even our own authentic expression and authentic messaging, like authenticity is used a lot, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
but
we can be authentic about how inauthentic we all are. Do we agree to that? I mean, to me, it's been this life process,
it
and
is
it
a
still
process.
is.
Yeah, and it's about shedding and adding and, iterating, and, like, my son says to me all the time about the strategy piece. He's like, "Do you ever just have a plan A?" And I'm like, "No."
No, no, not you and me, Donna. We're too scrappy. Yeah, no, we can multi-solve, right?
Multi-strategize.
Yeah. And I think that's what it takes, in today's business world, is to be, well, we're in the age of Aquarius. If you want to look at that, it's all about collaboration and innovation. It's not the hierarchy anymore. You've said that a million times in these interviews.
Yeah.
And it is the same thing when we talk about branding. I can't get away from that
Mhm.
word, but it means so many different things. But in the context I'm talking about, is answering three important questions. There are only three for a successful business brand.
And what are those 3 questions?
Who are you? What do you stand for? And why should I care?
I
Meaning,
love
why
that.
should your audience care?
Mhm.
It's got to be relevant. Your messaging is really about your ideal person, your ideal client, and how you can relate and connect and resonate so they can find you.
Well, so they can find you and so they can see themselves in your solution.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
It's the story of them. The brand story is a narrative based with compelling language
yeah,
that's told from your ideal client's perspective.
yes. It's because they need to see themselves in that solution because then they see the possibility.
Yeah. And when you answer those first two questions, who am I and
Mhm,
what do I stand for?
mhm.
That's your power positioning, because you know what happens when you start answering that is your weird comes out.
Yeah,
Everything you've squished, everything you've tried to hide, it comes out if you really get real with yourself. And another thing that I've found super helpful is to bring your business in to that conversation when you're answering those questions.
yeah.
Soul Story Creative is one of my best buddies. She's always
Mhm,
been with me. She
mhm.
has been there for me to express myself for the last 7 years. She was always there.
Yeah, yeah, it's a vehicle of of who you are.
Yeah,
And
I
when
bet.
you let go of all of the preconceived ways that you should be living your life or you should be running your business and step into who you are, and you're loud and proud with that, I mean, it changes everything and it makes it all much easier.
It does, but it's hard to get there, Donna. I
Well,
mean,
it is hard
number
to get there.
one,
It
you
it's
know
hard to get there, and you know what I have found? That there are 2 things that really, like, if I'm feeling stuck, and this is just through going through the process over and over again, the 2 things that get me out of being stuck are curiosity and remembering,
oh,
because
that's so good.
everything that helps us, like, live who in a way that's true to who we are is remembering something that we let go of because we didn't think anybody cared, or somebody told us we shouldn't do that, or they took away our permission to be who we were when we were 6, you know? But as we come into this age, the part that really stands out is, like, we're remembering these parts of us that were shut down for some reason and bringing them back. And when you do that with curiosity and excitement, it's like, I don't even know if there's words to describe what that feels like.
No, it's something when you actually experience, um, I'm just thinking when I hid behind the camera since I was
Mhm.
16
Yeah.
until I got on stage for the first time 7 years ago. And that was when I launched Soul Story Creative, and I had an hour on my coach's stage. And that was for me. The audience, there were over 100 women in
Mhm.
the audience. And yeah, they had a great time. They were laughing, they were crying. I was just
Mhm.
like bowled over 'cause it's the first time I've been out. But it was for me. Our
Yeah.
businesses are for our growth. Our
Yeah.
personal transformation just keeps going.
Mhm. Yeah. Rick Rubin, um, I heard an interview with him and he talked about artists make art for themselves. And that really aligned with, like, how I create my work and my business, because I never considered myself to be creative, but I am. And
Oh,
everybody's creativity is different. And I know you feel the same way because you do create this for you, and then you find your people, you find your people that understand this, and you speak to them in the same language and they hear you. Let's kind of move to this now, because this is another topic that you and I could probably talk about 3 hours on. But, like, when you do this, it's smaller and it's more intentional, but,
yes.
like, you are heard through all of the noise.
Quality. It's
You have
quality.
it's like there's like a honing device that helps the right people find you, because they hear this message that's for them, and, like, that's what quality branding does.
It does, and that's why I love the name, that I was given for my company, Soul Story. And
Mhm,
when it was given to me, um, by my spirit guides, um, I didn't understand. And I came up with my signature system, clarify, captivate, communicate 7 years ago. But when you really go inside and you answer the questions of who am I? What do I stand for? And why should they care? And you're honest about it. You don't have to understand what comes through. You trust. And I am freaking amazed at how this still works.
mhm,
Soul is exactly what I'm talking about now in the authentic messaging. That's the soul of your business. You are, even if you have an enterprise company,
mhm,
your values are expressed through it. It can't help. But
mhm.
the story piece, that's the smart marketing. We
Yeah,
are
it's totally
hardwired for
we are.
story.
You just
If
took
you
the words
said,
right out of my mouth.
yeah, if you said once upon a time, I'd be what?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's how we write copy.
Exactly,
So you get the
exactly,
soul in
exactly.
the messaging
Yeah,
and you tell it in a way that lands, that's short, sweet, and to the point,
mhm.
and you're gonna stand out. How
You
can
will.
you, don't you think?
You will, and all of that click here, buy this, challenges and tactics and all of these things, they just fall by the wayside because it all just sounds like the adults in Charlie Brown, you know?
Yeah, it
And
does. And you know what? That noise that we're talking about, let me see if this makes it simpler. Think of a tree,
mhm,
and we have our own roots, right? That we're grounded in. That's our values, how we roll, our authentic nature. But in a business model, let's think of the roots as your brand story,
Mhm.
your thought leadership content, your customer journey, your business model, your revenue channels. All that needs to be decided in the roots.
Mhm.
The trunk is your visuals,
Mhm.
colors, fonts, design that's
Mhm.
informed by the roots.
Mhm.
If there's kittens in your roots, then you can
Mhm.
put kittens on your website.
Yeah.
But just because you like kittens or Tuscany, it may not be relevant. It may
Mhm.
not answer that third question.
Yeah.
And you know what's all in the branches and leaves? The
Mm.
noise,
Yeah.
the noise, all of the marketing tactics. And so let's start with the roots and get clear with ourselves, why we're doing this. And then we'll have something meaningful to say.
And and that's foundational. Like, when you plant roots, you know, that's what stays through all the changes, because everything's gonna change faster than we can keep up with it, even more than it ever has before. And, when what you're building is rooted in who you are and the things that don't change,
Right.
everything else becomes easier.
Right. Exactly. You can be nimble.
Yeah.
If the market changes, you can change your offers, but
Yeah, I mean, you could it's often just changing the tool set you use.
that's true. That's true. And
But it
you are so brilliant. I mean, I watched you not be here
yeah.
a few years ago, and I know that you were going through that rough time.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Oh, lordy, what's gonna happen?" She has such a brilliant business and so unusual in the social media industry. And oh my gosh, Donna, you just pick the right channel and you started.
'Cause when I was going through my hard years, I didn't wanna show up and just be online whining, you know? I
Yeah,
showed up every now and again, and I shared what I was going through, but, like, I was not gonna show up every day and either not be honest about my situation or, just, sit there and complain. I mean, I had a health issue, and it
right.
wasn't pretty, and I just didn't wanna be that person, and,
Mm-mm.
um, when I came back, it was like, I didn't skip a beat because I had built trust over the years, and, I didn't, push people away with my whiny story.
Right. Or make them
Or
confused, like,
yeah, or
"What's
lie about it,
happened?"
like pack
Yeah,
on makeup and
yeah. Like, "Oh my gosh, I guess I won't be calling her again. I'm so sorry that happened." And then it's like,
yeah, and you know what? I didn't wanna be part of that noise. I just didn't.
yeah.
I would rather, if I had nothing positive or constructive or, useful to add to the conversation, I'll just sit this out.
Yeah, and I struggle with that. What to write the blog on my most popular blog post, and I gauge that from the replies I get, when people hit reply and say,
Mhm.
"Oh, that was so good," or something. It was about my trip coming from out west in June of 2022, and I wrote a blog about that 5-day. That was another chapter change, big time. That was the most popular. I mean, what is it? Why do we need to know
You
that
were
stuff?
vulnerable because you were vulnerable and you allowed people to get to know you.
Yeah.
Well, let's just move on to the next. You shared your values. You
Yeah, I did.
shared you shared the good, the bad, and the ugly, and that builds trust.
Yeah.
And when people trust you, they come back.
Yeah. And, I'm as guilty of it as anybody I coach. I mean, it's hard to be vulnerable in marketing.
Mhm,
Um, be in anything. I don't know. If I was a transformational coach doing shamanic path stuff, which is what I practice. I practice a shamanic path. And if I was doing that in my business, I would be more comfortable being that vulnerable, maybe talking about a meditation I had or something, but I don't do that with my business now. I'm not sure with these shared values if it's enough. It's that spiritual piece. of the conscious marketing.
Well, try it.
Yeah.
See what happens. I mean, you'll know right away if people like it or if they don't like it.
True. But you know what I did learn, and these bringing up the shared values, I do want to bring this up that um people always say trust is earned,
Mhm.
and it is. If we award trust, I've awarded trust in my life and it did not go well. How many of you have had that, right?
Well, awarding trust is giving away your sovereignty and, asking permission. It's the
Mhm.
same thing.
Yeah, you disempower yourself.
Mhm,
But get this, when you look at digital marketing, creating connection in a digital world like we're doing now, and I've gotten really comfortable with it. Like I love having my peeps on my
mhm,
box here. It's weird. But in a latest study, because I'm all into the 2024 trends now and I'm soaking it in to see what we got
mhm.
to do. 83% of buyers award instant trust on shared values. People, we gotta be real.
Yeah,
83%
yes,
award trust in a digital world. Are you kidding me? That's
yeah,
gold.
yeah. Because it's what they feel. It's not what they're hearing or seeing. They feel it.
Mhm.
And when you can make that connection that's disengaged from what you're saying and what you're doing, that's where the magic happens.
That's where the magic, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be big, like, we're small business owners. Like, how many clients can you possibly work with in a year?
Right. That's right.
And not everything is about a client, I mean, I think that that's a big, misconception and fallacy in marketing is that everything is built to get the next client. But some of the best relationships have nothing to do with being a client, or maybe they become clients because they have this relationship with you. And if they're going to hire somebody to do it, why would they hire somebody else?
Yeah. They already know you. And
Yeah.
that
So,
whole thing, when I was shooting weddings, I never, ever, ever shot a friend's wedding.
mhm,
It was a rule
yeah.
that almost got broken a couple of times, but that's not true anymore.
Mhm,
That is not true. People want to do business with people they trust and they love and they can get behind. If I don't have the funding to be a legacy, to donate and do some kind of big thing, I can get behind you because I love what you're doing. And I can,
yeah.
it's just a whole different way of marketing, isn't it?
Mhm. It really is. And it's very small and intentional and meaningful. And it's about conversations and listening. And I mean, for years, I've been telling people, shut up and listen. I
You
mean,
told
because
me that. You said
yeah,
just go on Facebook and start commenting. I'm like, really?
yeah. I mean, it's there. Everything is all around us. All of the opportunities are there. The biggest issue is people don't listen because they're out there just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and it turns people off. Turns me off.
Oh,
And I
it's
mean,
awful.
I do that whenever I work with clients or when I do things for my own business, is I take the temperature of, like, how do I feel on the other side of this?
Yeah.
Because
That's
the people that
really
I wanna connect with are really they're similar to me, you know? We
mhm.
share those values, and, like, what does that feel like to me? If it doesn't feel good to me, it's not gonna feel good to the people I wanna connect with. So, I'm really conscious of that, and it also kind of brings an awareness and, kinda goes deeper into who my audience really is, because maybe it doesn't feel right to some people, but maybe they're not my people.
Exactly. Yeah, and you'll know,
Yeah.
and I do think that in this new age of conscious marketing, that's it. It's the
Mhm.
smaller, affinity, a few. There's so much froth
Yeah.
right now in the marketplace. It scares me for people.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a fear monger, but there's so much bombardment, so much.
Mhm.
And we just need to and see what's right for us, for
Yeah.
our personality, for our business, for our people that we want to serve.
Yeah.
And we bring it into our life. I think that's what you were saying is, you do business with people you love and who love you and who can pay you, yes, but it's our life too. I mean, I don't know about you, but a lot of my life is Soul Story Creative. I'm on a
Mhm.
mission.
Yeah.
We're pioneers and we ain't been here before.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. And at our age, there are a lot of people that are battling loneliness and fear, like crushing fear and depression. And um, with this project, I mean, we're at 94 people. They're not all on the website yet, but
Hallelujah.
these are 94 people that said no to that.
Yeah.
They said, no, no, thank you. I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah.
And as it kind of
Bunch of
grows,
rebel rousers.
as it grows and gets into new audiences, it's my hope and that it inspires people to take a different path and to get past the noise and to really embrace that, you know, we don't have to do what we were told to do. We could do whatever the hell we want.
And we know what's not working.
Yeah.
Those hard sales, oh my gosh, don't get me started.
Let's talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
Connecting your purpose. I mean, because we've talked a bunch about it already. It's that blurred line between life and business. So how do you see that showing up?
My life has been one big transformation. I can't believe the life I signed up for. It's been a
Mhm.
life of a lot of deep contradictions, Donna,
Mm.
that,
Paradoxes.
well, more just lies. I'm just going to come out with it. I grew up in a finely manicured neighborhood and I was groomed to be a debutante. And
Mm,
it's just not me.
mm.
I can't, you
Can't
know,
stay in that box.
and inside the house, it was chaos. It wasn't debutante world. That's all. And I was like, this is not adding up. And so my life I talk about curiosity. I don't know if I'm a critical thinker or I just want to know what the hell's going on. You know, what am I doing here? What is this? Where are my people? Um, but my purpose is simple. It's so simple. And I think it is for everybody.
It is.
I'm here with a unique story to share.
Mhm,
Like everybody has a unique story that's worth sharing. There's something in everyone's story for somebody.
mhm,
And that is what we're doing. We are bringing in the new age of conscious business out with the hierarchy
mhm,
and the slavery, the debt slavery, and the 8 to 5. I'm not doing it anymore. I never did,
mm.
but we are not doing it anymore.
I did my time.
And we can join in and get on this movement and redefine what business is, that it is a transformational endeavor. I don't care if you're selling. One of my clients sells commercial roofing and repair.
Mhm,
but his purpose is all over that business.
It doesn't matter what the business is.
It doesn't matter one bit, not
'Cause
one bit.
I think it's about viewing of how whatever it is that you do is in service.
Yeah, there you go. You're right. Bingo. I like that. That's what it is. It's revolves and is rooted in service and wanting
Mhm.
to inspire and make the world better
Yeah, and
by
it
by experiencing my own superpower.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I spent years until that last chapter change, a year and a half ago, and maybe recently, like real recently, super claiming my superpower.
Mhm,
I get to do that. Not
mhm.
just reflect back to you or get you to pull yours out. My turn. After
Yeah,
50, sorry, female brain, we don't care for
yeah,
things anymore.
yeah. Like, one of the things that I've seen happen is, as you shed and heal and, bring on new layers of things, the relationship with money changes too.
Big time. Big
And and
time.
and personally, like with your own finances, but also with with charging for what you do. I felt like apologetic about that for so long, but I don't anymore because what I do is really unique, and I want the people that hire me to, first of all, recognize that it's an investment, not a cost, and
Mhm.
to recognize that, there's this energetic flow of money. There's got to be that give and take. You can't give it away because then it devalues what you do. And then it devalues you because, again, that line is blurred, right?
Right.
The personal and professional.
And
And
it comes from self-respect, don't you think?
yeah,
And so many of us, women, we care, we've raised kids, we were hearth tenders while we were working. It's just so ingrained that for me to charge my worth and get in front of the people who can pay me that has been a transformational experience because either I could charge less and know that who I'm serving, I mean, I'm going to over
yeah.
deliver. That's not what we're
And but
talking
they
about
but they
here.
but they're not gonna be ready for what you can deliver.
No, and they weren't. They
Yeah,
didn't know, they had no idea what to do with it.
what to do with it. Yeah.
And so, when we talk about branding and marketing, I just want to dispel the fear, the confusion, and the downright frothiness of it. And
Mhm.
that's what I see you doing so well for us on so many of these interviews that I've enjoyed is not every tactic is meant for you.
No.
Group programs may not be for you. There's a there's a whiteboard out there on just about every post that will say, with your group program, you're going to be seven figures.
Mm.
How are you
As
going to
soon
keep
as
that
I hear
dream in
10x
bold?
or 7 figures, I'm out of there.
My question is, how are you going to keep people in there?
Yeah.
So let's just calm down, take 6 breaths.
Mhm.
That does it, calms the nervous system. And just ask, Soul Story Creative, where are you right now? What's next?
Yeah.
And then
What do
go
you need?
for a hike.
And then go for a hike. Well, the thing is like, let's all agree to build the businesses, that are individual to who we are and what we do and what we're good at and what we enjoy versus there's one solution for every business.
That's right. And that's why we start with the first two questions.
Yes.
Most companies start with, well, let's do the ideal customer research. And they get all this research, they do the interviews, and then they twist themselves into a pretzel trying to accommodate a market that doesn't really like them.
Yeah.
because
They're just focused on the ROI.
yeah, it never worked. You may make some sales,
Mhm.
but it's not gonna work long term.
No,
So start with the roots.
I always like to say the work that I do often doesn't fit into a spreadsheet.
That's right. And it used to be all spreadsheets, didn't
Yeah,
it?
all spreadsheets.
And I'm loving AI, man. That's making my life easy.
Yeah, me too, because,
Garbage
we're not
garbage
using it.
in, garbage out, though, right? You've gotta have something good to put in there.
Yeah, you have to build a relationship with it, as with anything else. Like, if you hired somebody to help you do the work that AI is helping you with, um, would you just, like, give it a sentence and, that's it? You would have to bring this person up to speed.
Yeah, it's
You'd have
like,
to,
"Hey, write me a brand story for a boutique marketing, with a twist." It's
like
not gonna give you it has no point of view, that's the
the
first
word bespoke will be all over it, and you'll get a rocket ship.
That's right. Bespoke, 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 bespoke. That's right. That's exactly right. And I just see so clearly. I'm usually about 3 years ahead of my time, but last week I thought, "Dang, was I 8 years this time?" But I can see how here's this it's fuzzy because marketing is so confusing sometimes, but I see the the dust settling and the lighting our path for authenticity, vulnerability, being real, being small, getting your people, and just enjoying your life so that
Well,
it's
AI, once we all learn how to harness it best, is going to take away the mundane work,
so great.
and it will open up the space
But
to be able to do the stuff that we really wanna do.
that's right. That's
And
bingo.
when people talk about it taking away jobs, the jobs are gonna change, so the jobs are gonna get more interesting.
That's right. I get to do more of my superpower, which is
Yeah.
merging your power positioning. AI will never be able to
No, no,
do that.
and, like, there used to be people that, walked to the streets and lit gas lanterns, and then electricity was invented, so that job went away, and it's gonna be a lot of that, so
Yeah.
it's we're
Or the
we're gonna
or
be
the
in transitional.
the
Yeah, we're all
telephones with the cord.
yeah, we're all in transition, and, part of that is really messy and, you know,
It is
be
messy.
forward thinking, be curious, be
Yeah,
curious.
yeah.
Just be curious, and the answers always come. Okay.
Curious and remembering, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Remembering. Oh, that's good, Donna. Love
So we went over time, but, I knew we would. But anyway, leave
it.
us with
Thank
a
you
wisdom
so
bomb,
much.
my friend. Leave us
Oh,
with a
wisdom
wisdom
bomb.
bomb.
Wisdom bomb time. Well, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is your life, and it's time to take action now.
Yeah, good one.
Not a dress rehearsal.
Well, listen to that, all you 20 and 30-year-olds out there.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Lee. Thank
Thank
you for
you,
coming.
Donna. I adored
Everybody connect with Lee. Head over to her website, soulstorycreative.com. She's got some free offerings there that you can download and events. She does various different classes and presentations, so be sure to sign up for those. And she's also always available on the Real 50 Over 50 webpage,
Yes,
prominently displayed.
you.
So come back next week, and for the month of February, we have some good things planned, and stay tuned because I'll be announcing them soon. Thank you.
Thank you. It's so great to have this midweek, midday for 30 minutes. It's
Yeah,
so nice. Thank you.
I love how you show up for all of them. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a nice break for me.
Good.
Okay,
Um, so
adore you.
we'll be back. Thank you.